We are having a special discussion on the ICJ proceedings in The Hague in the Netherlands today when South Africa brought its genocide case against Israel. We are joined by our legal analyst, Thamsanqa Malusi, who is with Wits, who is an attorney and legal analyst, as well as Patrick Lukusa Kadima, who is with the Wits International Law, and Canny, Maphanga, our own SABC news reporter. Perhaps if we can just go into this. Well, actually, I think will we take those tweets first?
Yeah,
shall we do that? Let's take a little bit of a sidebar, have a look at our question of the day, and share some of your comments on it.
And we're asking you, what do you think of South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice? And we do have our first comment.
Siabulela says, good afternoon, ladies, and to the viewers. How's it? It was well presented and answered all possible questions. Israel should be brought to book for their atrocities towards Palestine. I am proud to be a South African after today's exemplary boldness towards the bullies. All the best, legals.
And Andrew saying they were exceptionally good. They made us proud and we were listening attentively.
So it was a great initiative. At least we are doing something other than just talking. However, I'm concerned. What if the Israelites, I think you mean Israelis, decide to come for us? What does that mean? And then we find ourselves in a war. Oh, you mean as a retaliatory action, I suppose. So thank you for the comment.
And ZB Realitama, hi ZB, I'm asking myself if this case is winnable or not. What's going to happen if South Africa can lose the case? Is South Africa going to pay all the representatives present there? How much it costs per day? South Africa is too forward. We have our own issues to solve. And we're going to put this to our panel here just to get a sense of what they say.
Tabisa says they were absolutely brilliant. One can say today is like many other days when one is proud to be a South African.
All right, those are some of your comments tonight, and let's actually pick up there, because I saw you nodding as we were reading that particular tweet. What happens if South Africa loses?
I do not think, and I stand under correction, that there's a court order that could be, ordered if South Africa loses. I seriously doubt it, but I stand under correction.
And I suppose on the cost, we won't go there just now. Let's perhaps just focus on some of the merits of today's proceedings. You know, as you read those tweets and you see the great sense of pride of South Africans from all quarters, not just in South Africa, abroad. Well, if possible, and we have time, we can share some of the sentiments of Gazans themselves in response to this action, which was really huge. But it's also a huge international moment. South Africa has taken this massive step to put this issue back on the global table in the International Court of Justice. It's made a compelling case for the Palestinian people. How do you see this case in the bigger picture of our international reputation, Patrick?
So it is something to be commended. You know, yes, African countries have their own issues. You know, we are always told we are undemocratic. We're always told that we have conflicts going on in our respective countries and so on and so forth. We have dictators and so on and so forth. But we should commend this. We should commend South Africa for taking this step forward. We have seen also Gambia, a tiny African country, which has had its own issues, you know, a few years back, taking Myanmar to the International Court of Justice. It's something to be happy about. It's something to show that African countries, despite sometimes not having a voice in the international community, sometimes take a stand, you know, to say enough is enough. You know, we are taking this to the International Court of Justice. We are taking this to the UN. It needs to be dealt with. So, yes, you know, we have our own domestic issues. People always say these things, you know, sort out your own house first. But no. I believe that there is a connectivity between our duty, if we're signatories to international treaties, to take issues there if they arise.
And if we may put up just slide 5 for those who possibly maybe missed, you know, the crux of some of what, some of what has been argued in court. You can see there, you know, South Africa's case against Israel at the ICJ. Facts to be argued: the killing of Palestinians, subjecting Palestinians to bodily and mental harm, displacement and expulsion of Gazans, lack of food, water, and other services, lack of shelter, hygiene and sanitation. And Canny, this, as you even summed it up, where Adila Hassim was also presenting her case, this pretty much hinges on the fact that there are people on the other side of this case, who are watching not only the developments, but also going through some of the atrocities that we've seen since October 7th.
Absolutely, and it's going to be interesting to see how the state of Israel tries to defend what we heard in the court today. I think for many South Africans, it was a learning curve for them to understand exactly what is actually going on in Palestine, because a lot of these issues, we understand them on the surface level, but the way it was presented by this legal team gives you the severity of what is being dealt with there. And we understand that Israel will be opposing that application. However, they have not filed. So we actually do not have an idea of how they're going to defend their response to October 7. So it'll actually be quite interesting, and one cannot even imagine how you could justify the acts that were described in the ICJ by South Africa's legal team today.
Again, going back to how we began, Canny, when you listened to Adila Hassim lay out the atrocities in the way that she did. We've been seeing these reports daily, but when you put it like that in a tapestry of suffering and of hardship, in one case you mentioned 80 members of a single family simply being wiped out, people being left under the rubble. It takes you viscerally into the moment. And as we speak, as is being reported, attacks are continuing to happen in these areas. So I guess the final question we'll give to you, Thamsanqa, is it began with the South African ambassador saying, the ambassador to the Netherlands saying that, there are deep consequences if action isn't taken on Gaza. And at the same time, not the credibility necessarily, but the importance of the ICJ as a court to adjudicate in these matters is also intertwined in this story. How important is it in terms of the ICJ's credibility and its ability to act?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think it was Advocate Hassim when she said that, if you look at other cases that have come before the ICJ with respect to allegations of genocide, if you compare the facts of this case and what has actually happened, we know that 23,000 people have been killed. About 95% of the population of Gaza has been displaced. 55,000 people are missing. All of that put together just goes to show the extent of the crimes that are committed in the Gaza Strip. And if we are not to find, or if the ICJ is not to find that constitutes genocide, I don't know what would constitute genocide if this is not genocide. So I think, given how the factual nature that underpins this case makes it, a very compelling one. And again, like if this is not genocide, one wonders what is genocide.
And to hear chilling words such as Palestinians are likely to die from disease and starvation rather than airstrikes. You think about the slow, painful death of hunger and famine, and how that was also meticulously put before the court.